Okay. Look, I can explain why I've been gone for a month. I've just been addicted to this game, man. I have been consumed by a video game, and I can't stop playing it. And it's stopping me from making YouTube videos because I love this game so much. So, if you've been living under a rock, last year was the Game Awards, and there was a very specific game that everybody was mad that won Game of the Year. That game was Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I was part of the crowd that was mad that Spider-Man 2 wasn't the game that won Game of the Year, but for this past month, I no-lifed Baldur's Gate 3. I gave it a chance. I wanted to see what the hype was about, and when I tell you, this game has consumed me in ways I've never seen. Pause. I just had to make a video on why I understand why Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year. Okay, so here's how we're gonna start here. So I just want to talk about how great the story of Baldur's Gate 3 is. Now, people may look at Baldur's Gate 3 and be like, oh, hell no. I am not playing this game. I don't like the style. I don't like the gameplay. I don't like anything that has to do with this type of game. And look, I'm not a turn-based style gamer. Only turn-based games I've played other than Baldur's Gate is Persona 3 and a couple Pokemon games. But off of the fact of the combat, let's get back to the main thing, the story. So, Baldur's Gate 3 reminds me, like, it does something to my brain. Like, I feel like I'm just playing a turn-based Skyrim to me. Like, playing Baldur's Gate 3 made me realize how much I love the just fantasy aspect of gaming and just how my choices really impact what's going on in the story. So there's a couple clips and funny moments I want to put in this video of stuff that happens to me on my multiple characters that I have. Yes, I have like 3 characters. That's how much I love this game so far. It's like, 1, I love the story, and then 2, the build system. But we're gonna get to the builds later because y'all gonna see how obsessed I am with trying to make a good Baldur's Gate 3 build that fits my playstyle. But back to the story. Before we get to the story, I just want to preface there's are spoilers from Act 1 and Act 2, so if you haven't played this game and you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this video. But it's not going to be like crazy spoilers that's going to spoil the whole story because I'm not even done with the game. I'm not even in Act 2, really. I'm like right at the beginning of Act 2. So there are times in the story, like on different characters, where I get a different result. There was one time we met one of your companion characters that you meet in the game called, his name is Asterion. So in my first character, he basically came out and was like, oh, I'm a vampire, this or that. See, that's spoiler right there. But he came out and told me a secret about himself. And I was like, oh, this nigga. I mean, he kind of looks like it when you play the game and understand, but I was like, oh, so he has more depth to him. You could tell that he's like the evil type of companion in your group. So it's just, that was crazy, right? And then on my second character, when I'm at my camp and we're resting so I can get like all my stuff can like refresh and stuff, right? Why does Asterion try to freaking bite me? And I'm like, why didn't this happen in the first time? So that threw me for a loop. And then it's stuff like, it's this one location, once you go into the mountain pass and you're fighting this group called the Githyanki, and they're basically kind of like, they're just a very war-centric race, and they just want to, they breed their children to become freaking soldiers, and they just have a very powerful army, and they're ruled by a dark queen, and you know how that goes. So I'm at this place and I find this secret, right? When I find the secret, I take the weapon, and once I take the weapon, right, there's just this whole sequence of events that's happening, and in those sequences, it's just like, I have to figure out how to escape this place before it blows up. And like, I'm talking like destroys the whole building that I'm at. Mind you, I have my whole squad with me, and if I escape and they stay behind, they die. And it's like, prior to knowing that, I didn't know. So I thought that section of the game, right, just destroyed that little section, not the whole building. So I just moved my squad, right, all the way across to like a side of the building that wasn't where this weapon was. So I grabbed the weapon, I run outside, and I find me a little escape point that's not gonna blow me up, and I escape with the weapon, right? So I get to the spot, the place blows up. Why does the camera shift to my squad getting crushed by debris and rubble? And I'm just like, jaw on the ground. I'm like, no way my squad just died. No, don't kill me.
Barely got away. Those GOTY Yankee aren't so lucky.
What? What? And I'm shook. So obviously I had a save, so I just went back to my previous save and did it the right way. But stuff like that is what engages me into the game. It's like, I just killed everybody that I loved and cared for because I didn't know what to do at this point. And there's another point in Act 1 where you meet this old hag, right? And she's arguing with these group of dudes, and the dudes are like, she's a witch. Don't believe anything she's telling you. She's gonna fuck you up. Don't do it. So I believe the two dudes because the old hag just seemed sketchy, and the dialogue choices basically gave away like, yeah, this old lady can't be trusted. She disappears once we catch her, and the two men, they try to go find what they're looking for, right? So you get down there, right? And it's a point to where you walk down there. Another feature in this game, before I preface what I'm about to say, is there's a dice that you get, a 20-sided dice, and you need certain numbers to get like certain dialogue options, certain to like lockpick, and a bunch of like abilities and stuff like that to work. So if you roll the die, it's a successful interaction. If you fail it, obviously nothing happens and you got to do a different option. So you walk down, right? You walk down the hill, and then your character feels like there's something off, right? So a die option comes up. You have to roll like a 15 or a 20 die for this, right? So I rolled it. I got the 20. The place just starts magically just shifting. And then you can see like this is just like a dark swamp that you know a witch stays at. So we go to the witch's house, and you find what the two dudes are looking for, and you're trying to talk to the old lady and convince her like what she's doing is wrong, and she really turns into this nasty witch, bro. Just nasty. And there's a whole boss fight and a whole section for that, bro. And then another point in the game that I just love this section of the game. So there's another section to where there is a goblin camp, right? And depending on your race, you can get through the goblin camp no problem. So my character, she's a drow. So drow are like the rulers of the goblins type shit. So they can't really do nothing to me. So they respect me. They're falling to their knees, groveling at my presence. You get to the camp, and there's so many options. There's so many freaking options that you can do at this camp. So they're having like a party like outside of the gates and stuff, and you can poison the drinks while nobody's paying attention. Once you go inside, right, there's these 3 overlords, like 3 goblin superiors in there, right? And the goal is you can either team up with them, and that opens up a whole new lane of story and progression, or you can kill all 3 and get their loot and rewards. So just having that option of like, yeah, I'm gonna go down this evil path and I'm about to team up with this goblin or this drow, and we about to just wreak havoc on Baldur's Gate. Or you can just have this sense of heroism to where, F that, I gotta find a way to kill these people without alerting the camp. And once you find those options of how you can kill the goblins without alerting the camp, that just opens up a whole new thing. Another reason why I love the game, and not off the fact that I'm in love with my creator character.
The sovereign song halts as it
I'm
measures
attracted
your
to my
worth.
Baldur's Gate 3 character.
Huh?
But that's besides the point. Another reason why I'm in love with this game is the build system in this game. So there's about, I think it's like 12 classes, 12 or 9 classes in this game that you can choose from. And it's not like you're stuck to these classes, right? You can pick a class, you can level it up 1 time, 3 times. You can level it all the way up to the max level 12. But you can also multi-class those classes with the other classes in the game. Now, I know that was a lot, so let me break it down. So you can take a paladin, right? Which is one of the classes. And you can level that up to level 6. And let's say you want to go down the dark paladin route. You want to go down the dark paladin route, right? So you take that paladin, you level it up to the level that you want to level it up to, and then you can multi-class that into warlock, and you can level that up to the levels that you want, but it sacrifices some things that you can do on the paladin if you level it up higher, or it sacrifices stuff on the warlock if you level it up higher or lower, right? So just trying to find a build that fits me has been excruciating, to say the least. As you can see, I'm obsessed with builds. Builds is like one of my favorite things in all of video games. And I know I shouldn't be on YouTube trying to find my build. I should be just trying to find it regularly, but there's no fun in that. I use the builds on YouTube to help develop the character that I want to use, right? I just need like a blueprint. I just need the platform. I'm just trying to find a build that fits my playstyle. I kind of want, like on my first character, I kind of want her to be like a Lich Queen or just like a tank type character, or just something that's just cool to me. On my second character, I'm a Githyanki and I want to go down like a psychic type build. And on my third character, I'm a freaking beast archer. Like I be bodying shit up. Like my third character is probably my favorite just because of how strong she is. And she's an archer, and I'm a sucker for archery. Like if you play Skyrim, there's no way you wasn't running around with the bow and sneaking all over the place and bodying everybody. Like that was the funnest thing to do in Skyrim. Let's be real. So that's another reason why I love Baldur's Gate. It has a very deep and in-depth build system that just makes you want to switch it up and just test stuff out and just test builds, and it just does something to my brain. Like my brain just be like, oh my god, this is beauty right here. Another thing I want to talk about, the third thing I want to talk about is how deep like the characters are in this game. So the side characters in this game just have very rich and deep backstories, and like they feel like they're in this world. Like there's some games where the side characters are just side characters. You're not really invested into what they got going on. But the side characters in Baldur's Gate, they have a story, they have lore. Like they have stuff that you can dig deeper into and find out about them. And that's great to me, because it's like I'm interested in these characters. I'm invested in who I want in my party. I'm invested on what I can do to help them be their best selves, right? The character stories are just so deep, and they go like way back, man. Like, there's a point in Act 1, right? You end up saving this character named Karlak, and she was like part of this freaking army of devils, but she didn't want to do that, so she escapes, right? So after you free her, you invite her to her camp, you can add her to your squad, this or that. So you go back to your camp, right? Go back to your camp, and once you rest, a character gets introduced. His name is Will. And Will is contracted to kill Karlak, right? And you just see their dynamic and like why he wants to kill Karlak, and like where they met before prior to this interaction. And it's just like, oh my goodness, like they was really in the trenches for real. And then you rest again, right? And you find out that Will is contracted with this hireling. I think that's what they're called. It's either a hireling or it's the same race that Karlak is. And she turns Will into a devil because he broke his contract with her. And now Will's character is just completely changed, and now you get an even deeper backstory for Will that you didn't know. And it's like, bro, I just scratched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to my freaking companions. So it's just like, there could be a deeper story, an even deeper story for Will that I haven't figured out yet. And the game is just, every time I get on, there's something even crazier that I find from the last time I got on. Stuff like that is why people was just hyping this game up so much. And I was one of those people that was like, I don't know if I should try Baldur's Gate. That's not really my game. I'm not really sure, but I took the risk. And now I find a game that I love. I really love this game. And it's like, I feel so comfortable playing this game. Now, there are times in the game where I'm stressed the hell out because I'm trying to freaking beat this crazy enemy. He got OC amount of health. My freaking characters, if they get hit by this boss, they lose about half their damn health, and I'd be stressing on how the game plan. But that's another thing, game planning. Like, going into a fight with a strategy after failing a couple times, and you're like, okay, I need to do this, or I need to come in with these spells, or this weapon is going to benefit us the most because this enemy is weak to this. It just brings a whole nother layer into the combat, into the just scope of the game, man. I'm invested. Like, I was playing Helldivers before this, and Helldivers is fun, but Helldivers kind of got a little stale to me. Yes, the game is still fun. Yes, I like Helldivers, but the amount of depth that I get from Baldur's Gate just makes me not want to play any other game but Baldur's Gate, bro. And like, I know it's a long game, and it's like I could be consumed and just never upload again, but I'm not trying to do that. Like, if y'all want to see, I'll upload like my funny moments from my Baldur's Gate gameplays and footage, because I have a bunch of Baldur's Gate footage, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens in the footages, man. But the game is just amazing. Another scope I want to talk about is just the world. So I've only played through most of Act 1, and I'm going towards the end of Act 1 into Act 2, right? So the Act 1 world was insane, man. Like, the stories and the content that was in Act 1 was just so deep, bro. There's a point in the game where you're inside this camp, right? And It's two races. They're kind of beefing back and forth because like the main leader got captured, right? But it's this like side part that you go down, right? You go down the hill and you see this little kid at the beach, right? So you walk up to him and he's just hypnotized by this music. He's vibing out, hypnotized by the music. You soon find out like what's drawing him in is this race of harpies, which are like basically like flying mermaids, but they're playing this song to like draw the kid in to kill him. Obviously your character obviously like deflects this noise and like you can snap out of it easily, so you snap out of it, right? You snap out and you're basically trying to save this kid from these enemies because they're like, bro, that's crazy. And like that's just a side piece, that's just a side piece of content. Like you saved this kid and now you got this whole new quest. But on my first character, the kid ended up dying because my team was just so weak. We couldn't beat those enemies. So I just said, F it, I don't care what this kid does. So I went back to the place to save the kid when my level was higher and he was dead. And I was like, dang, I missed out on that quest, I missed out on that content. And there's another point in the world where it's this burning building, right? And it's just a bunch of troops trying to get their leader out of the building. And you go in there, you kick down the freaking door, and you help them get out of this burning building. That joint's just blowing up, fire everywhere. And you talk to the leader, and she gives you a little reward or whatever. And then you go to like this back part in the barns. Once you get back there, there's some dude just camping out back there, hiding, just waiting to just catch a lick. And you can persuade him to not attack you, which I did. And he gives you this key to this underground freaking, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not a tavern. It's like an underground cave system. And down there, it's this freaking guild of just sleazy people. And it's like, bro, like this is underground. It's like you don't even know that's back there if you don't travel back there. And it's like, I'm just like, no way this game has this much depth. And there's like a whole underground city called the Underdark that you can go to. It's just crazy, man. It's just so much depth. And all of that in Act 1. That's so much content, man. And it's like, I can't imagine how crazy Act 2 and Act 3. And there's another point. I know I'm all over the place. It's just that this game gets me really excited. There's another point in the game where you go down into this basement of this house, right? And it's this crazy book, just like the most wildest looking book you ever seen. And if you do it right, you can get the book without like getting harmed by anything. So you do that, you get the book, and then you go down into this freaking well, right? You go down into this well. It's freaking infested with spiders in this one crazy race. And then you kill them, and then there's a freaking spider boss fight. So you defeat the spider boss, and you get this freaking gem. And obviously the gem goes into the book. So you combine the gem in the book, right? And then it's just like this crazy necromancy spell book. Or it's not even a spell book. It's just like this necromancy book that I don't even know the full scope of it because I only got it in Act 1. And it just closed on me and I can't open it back up till I guess a later point in the game. That necromancy book just has this crazy aura and feeling to it, and it's just like, bro, what does this book mean? What does this item mean? And it's just like, that makes me want to keep playing the game because I want to figure out what's in the book. If what I'm explaining right now, even though it's all over the place, interests you, I honestly and truly believe that you need to play Baldur's Gate 3. If you like Skyrim, if you like any of the Bethesda games, yeah, this game is turn-based combat, and you really got to plan out what you want to do with your team and yourself, and definitely play Baldur's Gate 3, man. This is a game that you will get immersed in, and you would just be playing for hours, bro. You won't even realize time is flying as fast as it is once you log into this game. I can't recommend this game highly enough. I see why this game even has won Game of the Year, And honestly, if I played this game before the Game Awards, I would be rooting for this game to win Game of the Year too. This is the best game I played since Skyrim, bro. No cap. And it's like the game is doing everything it needs to do for me to stand on that statement. Like I'll put Baldur's Gate 3 in my top 5 games. And the craziest thing is that I'm only in Act 1 of the game. Act 1 of the game is making me feel like this. So I can't imagine how much more high I'm gonna feel after this game once I beat Act 2 and Act 3. I hope I was able to explain why I love this game so much while also having some sense of direction and giving y'all just a small taste on how good Baldur's Gate 3 is. So if you like this video and if y'all want to see me play Baldur's Gate video and have like my live reaction and stuff like that, I have no problem uploading like just moments from my playthroughs and stuff like that for you guys to see. So I'm gonna try to be more consistent. I'm not gonna make any promises because I'm in love with this game and the only thing I want to do is play this game. I will say I am recording the game, so I could just make like a super long video of just like crazy and funny moments of stuff that's going on and like boss fights and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty sick. So go play Baldur's Gate 3.